Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2025. NFL, college football, MLB, soccer, WNBA playoffs, golf, NASCAR, news and notes, and best bet is the agenda today. We will begin with the NFL. We will begin with the weekend's results, and we'll look ahead to the lone game. Two games tonight. What was I saying? I knew there was 2 games tonight. All right. Rams over the Titans, 33-19. Bengals over the Jaguars, 31-27. Ravens over the Browns, 41-17. So Madison survives another week in her survivor pool. Bills over the Jets, 30-10. Patriots over the Dolphins, 33-27. Cowboys over the Giants, 40-37 in overtime, which, in my opinion, was the game of week 2 in terms of entertainment. 49ers over the Saints, 26-21. Lions over the Bears, 52-21. Seahawks over the Steelers, 31-17. Colts over the Broncos, 28-29 on a game-winning field goal by Spencer Schrader as time expired. Cardinals over the Panthers, 27-22. Eagles over the Chiefs, 20-17. And Falcons over the Vikings, 22-6 on Sunday Night Football. All right, 7 o'clock on ABC and ESPN, Bucks-Texans. It's going to be interesting what game Joe Buck and company get. I think it's going to be the first one because it's on ABC and they probably thought that this game was going to be the better game of the 2 before the season. I just want to check to see if there are any injuries real quick before I give out my my picks. So out for Houston, Christian Kirk, Joe Mixon, obviously. And then for the Bucks, obviously Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin, Luke Gadecki might be out. So those are 2 big losses for the Houston Texans and the Bucks. So my line is so the line I have projected is Texans by 1.5, total 40 3/10. And we have Houston giving 2.5, totals 42.5. I'm going to give out the under. Too many injuries on both sides of the ball. That, to me, screams under. And 10 o'clock on ESPN, Chargers Raiders, I have Pick'em in 41 3/5, but I'm just going to double check with some injuries. So Denzel Perryman's out for the Chargers. So now that makes the Raiders a favorite. It looks like Brock Bowers is going to play, so that is good news for Vegas. We just have to check on Landon Roberts as well. So it looks like he's going to play, so that's good news, meaning Brock. So Raiders by 1/2, total 41 3/5. And it's Chargers by 3.5, total 46.5. Oh, baby. So I do like the under, but I also love the Raiders getting the points in plus 162. So 4-point differential with the Raiders. And almost 5 on the under. So I'm going to give out the under in this game too, but I gave out the Raiders as my underdog money line of the week, and I didn't get as good as a number as it is right now. So I got the a lesser number on it, but maybe I'll double down on it. I do think the Raiders beat the Chargers tonight in their home opener. That crowd's going to be ruckus, and Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, whole deal there. Okay, now move on to college football. We'll go over the results from the weekend. A lot of interesting results, of course. And then next week coming up is going to be fun as well. Friday, number 22 Indiana over Indiana State, 73-0. Syracuse over Colgate, 66-24. Houston over Colorado, 36-20. That was my best bet from Friday night. That hit. Arizona over Kansas State, 23-17. New Mexico over UCLA, 35-10. Saturday, number 1 Ohio State over Ohio, 37-9. Number 2 Penn State over Villanova, 52-6. Number 3 LSU over Florida, 20-10. Number 4 Oregon over Northwestern, 34-14. Number 5 Miami over number 18 South Florida, 49-12. Well, South Florida got exposed. Number 6 Georgia over number 15 Tennessee, 44-41 in overtime. Number 7 Texas over UTEP, 27-10. Number 16 Texas A&M over number 8 Notre Dame, 41-40. Number 9 Illinois over Western Michigan, 38-zip. Vandy over number 11 South Carolina, 31-7. Georgia Tech over number 12 Clemson, 24-21. Number 14 Iowa State over Arkansas State, 24-16. Number 17 Ole Miss over Arkansas, 41-35. Number 19 Alabama over Wisconsin, 38-14. Number 20 Utah over Wyoming, 31-6. Number 21 Texas Tech over Oregon State, 45-14. Number 23 Michigan over Central Michigan, 63-3. Number 24 Auburn over South Alabama, 31-15. Number 25 Missouri over Louisiana, 52-10. Nebraska over Houston Christian, 59-7. Maryland over Towson, 44-17. Virginia over William & Mary, 55-16. Baylor over Samford, 42-7. Memphis over Troy, 28-7. Buffalo over Kent State, 31-28. Ball State over New Hampshire, 34-29. Delaware over UConn, 44-41 in overtime. That was my underdog money line of the week. Rutgers over Norfolk State, 60-10. Michigan over Youngstown State, 41-24. North Texas over Wazoo, 59-10. SMU over Missouri, 28-10. West Virginia over Pitt, 31-24 in overtime. North Carolina beats Richmond, 41-6. Cincinnati over Northwestern State, 70-0. UTSA over Incarnate Word, 48-20. Toledo over Morgan State, 60-0. Bowling Green over Liberty, 23-13. Middle Tennessee over Nevada, 14-13. I had that as a pick. Mississippi State over Alcorn State, 63-0. Kennesaw State over Merrimack, 27-13. Marshall over Eastern Kentucky, 38-7. Charlotte over Monmouth, 42-35. USC over Purdue, 33-17. Old Dominion over Virginia Tech, 45-26. Georgia Southern over Jacksonville State, 41-34. Georgia State over Murray State, 37-21. Southern Miss over Appalachian State, 38-22. Rice over Prairie View, 38-17. Kentucky over Eastern Michigan, 48-23. Iowa over UMass, 47-7. Louisiana Tech over New Mexico State, 49-14. East Carolina over Coastal, 38-0. Tulane over Duke, 34-27. TCU over Abilene Christian, 42-21. Navy over Tulsa, 42-23. FIU over FAU, 38-28. UAB over Akron, 31-28. Utah State over Air Force, 49-30. Fresno State over Southern, 56-7. Cal over Minnesota, 27-14. Stanford over BC, 30-20. Arizona State over Texas State, 34-15. And Hawaii over Portland State, 23-3. So Stanford and Cal with some upset wins. Holy crap. So there you have it for college football. Now move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from the weekend, and we'll look ahead to all the games coming up. Cubs over the Rays, 6-4. Phils over the Royals, 8-2. Nats over the Pirates, 6-5. Jays over the O's, 6-1. Guardians over the White Sox, 4-0. Marlins over the Tigers, 8-2. Yankees over the Red Sox, 4-1. Rangers over the Mets, 8-3. Astros over the Braves, 11-3. Twins over the Diamondbacks, 9-8. Brewers over the Cardinals, 8-2. Rockies over the Padres, 4-2. A's over the Reds, 3-0. Mariners over the Angels, 2-1. Giants over the Dodgers, 5-1-10 on a walk-off grand slam by Patrick Bailey. Saturday, Rays over the Cubs, 5-4. Jays over the O's, 5-4. Pirates over the Nats, 5-1. Marlins over the Tigers, 6-4. Yankees over the Red Sox, 5-3. Rangers over the Mets, 3-2. Phils over the Royals, 8-6. Guardians over the White Sox, 3-1. D-backs over the Twins, 5-2-10. Astros over the Braves, 6-2. Brewers over the Cardinals, 9-8. Padres over the Rockies 11-3. Dodgers over the Giants 13-7. Mariners over the Angels 5-3. A's over the Reds 11-5. And then Sunday, Nats over the Pirates 4-3. Braves over the Astros 8-3. Royals over the Phillies 10-3. Jays over the O's 11-2. Guardians over the White Sox 3-2. Tigers over the Marlins 2-0. Mets over the Rangers 5-2. D-backs over the Twins 6-4. Cards over the Brewers 3-2. Cubs over the Rays 4-3. Dodgers over the Giants 10-2. A's over the Reds 7-4. Mariners over the Angels 11-2. Padres over the Rockies 9-6. And the Red Sox over the Yankees 6-4 on Sunday Night Baseball. So the Yankees win that series over the weekend, so they're ahead of the Red Sox in the standings, despite the Red Sox beating them up most of the year. The Yankees got them this weekend, and now they're ahead of them in the standings. All right. Tonight's slate, 6:30 Cubs Pirates. You have Jameson Taillon and Brandon Ashcraft. The Cubs are in a wild card spot. They're not going to catch the Brewers. They're 85-64, so they'll probably be in. They're minus 120 favorites. Pittsburgh's plus 102, over under 8. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Cubs minus 1.5, plus 132. Pirates plus 1.5, minus 160. I'm going to actually take Pittsburgh plus 102. I think that this is a trap spot for Chicago. 6:45, Braves Nats. Spencer Strider and Mitchell Parker. Braves minus 172, Nats plus 144, over under 9, minus 10 each way. Braves minus 1.5, minus 106, Nats plus 1.5, plus 113, over. 7:30, Blue Jays Rays. You have, going for Toronto, Trey Savage making his debut against Joe Boyle. The Jays are minus 124, the Rays are plus 106, over under 8.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Jays minus 1.5, plus 132. Rays plus 1.5, minus 160. I'm going to go with the over because of the new guy pitching on Toronto. Orioles, White Sox, Kyle Bradish, and going for Chicago is Sean Burke. But it does say Gilbert on FanDuel, which is weird. O's minus 142, White Sox plus 120, over under 8, minus 110 each way. O's minus 1.5, plus 116. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 140. Tough one. I'm going to go with the under, but I don't feel good about it. Yankees Twins, Carlos Rodon and Simeon Woods Richardson. Yanks minus 200, Twins plus 168, over under 9, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Yanks minus 1.5, minus 126, Twins plus 1.5, plus 105. Bounce back start for Rodon here, probably after getting crushed by the Tigers. Under's tempting. Yeah, I'm going to go with the under, but I don't feel good about it because I could see the Yankee offense, who's usually good against Simeon Woods Richardson from his Toronto days, going off. 7:45, Reds Cards. Zach Little and Matt Liberatore. Cards minus 116, Reds minus 102, over under 8.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Reds minus 1.5, plus 158. Cards plus 1.5, minus 92. I like the Reds minus 102. They need the win here. The Cards are kind of still in it too. 8 o'clock, Rangers, Astros. Jack Leiter and Jason Alexander. Astros minus 126, Rangers plus 108, over under 8.5. Overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Rangers plus 1.5, minus 10. Astros minus 1.5, plus 172. A lot of people think the Texas might come back and win the AL West, which would be a great story and would be incredible. And that would put Ron Washington in the manager of the year spot with all the injuries that team has. I'm actually going to take them here, plus 108. They're playing well right now. They're going to have a fan base that I think could show up on the road. I'm taking Texas. 9:40, Giants, Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen against Kawhi Tang. Diamondbacks minus 132, Giants plus 112, over under 9, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Giants plus 1.5, minus 182, D-backs minus 1.5, plus 150. I'm going with the Giants here only because they're playing so well, plus 112. I'm taking a lot of underdogs tonight. Ooh, and here's another possible one. Phillies, Dodgers, MLB Network, 10 o'clock. Rangers, Suarez, and Emmett Sheehan. Dodgers minus 120, Phils plus 102, over under 8.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Phils minus 1.5, plus 162. Dodgers plus 1.5, minus 96. Did the Phillies clinch yet their division? Did they clinch that division? I think they clinched a playoff spot, but I don't know if they clinched the division. I'm going to check that. So, clinched the playoff berth. So, Milwaukee clinched, Philly clinched, so the division's not over yet. And nobody in the American League has clinched the playoff spot yet. Best record is Toronto, then Detroit, then the Yankees, and then Seattle and Boston. So, they did not clinch the division yet, but they're close. And they're a dog tonight at the Dodgers, who need the game too. Because they have the Padres crawling up their back. So, I'm going to go with the Phils here at plus 102. So, I have a lot of underdogs tonight that I gave out on the card. Okay, now we'll go over soccer from the weekend. We'll go over the results from the other day and yesterday and Friday. I meant the other day as in Friday. And look ahead to everything today. And there's a lot of soccer going on as we speak. So, Friday, La Liga, Sevilla, Elche, 2-2 draw. German Bundesliga, Leverkusen over Frankfurt, 3-1. Women's League, Gotham over San Diego, 2-0. Liga MX, FC Juarez, Necaxa, 1-1 draw. Unam over Mazatlan, 4-1. League 1, Marseille over Lorient, 4-0. ELC, Ipswich over Sheffield United, 5-0. The Super League, Man City over Brighton and Hove, 2-1. Arsenal over West Ham, 5-1. Pro League, Al Ettifaq and Al Ali, 0-0 draw. Al Shabab over Al Hazaim, 1-0. And Al Ittihad over Al Fateh, 4-2. USL, Lexington, Orange County, 1-1 draw. North Carolina over El Paso, 1-0. League 1, Naples over Charlotte, 1-0. Saturday, Premier League, Arsenal over Nottingham, 3-0. Bournemouth over Brighton and Hove, 2-1. Crystal Palace, Sunderland, 0-0 draw. Everton, Aston Villa, 0-0 draw. Fulham over Leeds, 1-0. Newcastle over Wolverhampton, 1-0. Tottenham over West Ham, 3-zip. I said zip. And Chelsea, Brentford, 0-0 draw. I combined nil and zip. And that's where I got that from. La Liga, Getafe over Real Oviedo, 2-0. Real Madrid over Real Sociedad, 2-1. Alaves over Athletic Club, 1-0. Atletico Madrid over Villarreal, 2-0. Bundesliga, Dortmund over Heidenheim, 2-0. Hoffenheim over Union Berlin, 4-2. Leipzig over Mainz, 1-0. Freiburg over Stuttgart, 3-1. Wolfsburg Cologne, 3-3 draw. Munich over Hamburg, 5-0. MLS, Columbus over Atlanta, 5-4. St. Louis over Montreal, 2-0. Charlotte over Miami, 3-0. DC Orlando, 1-1 draw. Cincinnati over Nashville, 2-1. New England, Toronto, 1-1 draw. NYCFC over Chicago, 3-1. Dallas over Austin, 2-0. LAFC over San Jose, 4-2. Galaxy, Seattle, 2-2 draw. Colorado over Houston, 2-1. Salt Lake over KC, 2-1. Vancouver over Philly, 7-0. Portland over New York, 2-1. And I should say the Red Bulls. And then Minnesota over San Diego, 3-1. Women's League, North Carolina over Angel City, 2-1. Orlando, Bay FC, 1-1 draw. Kansas City, Washington, 0-0 draw. Liga MX, Cruz Azul over Pachuca, 1-0. Atlas Santos, 2-2 draw. Tigres, Leon, 0-0 draw. Toluca over Puebla, 3-1. Guadalajara over America, 2-1. Syria, Cagliari over Parma, 2-0. Juventus over Inter, 4-3. And Napoli over Fiorentina, 3-1. League 1, Nice over Nantes, 1-0. AS Monaco over Ajax, 2-1. ELC, Charlton, Millwall, 1-1 draw. Oxford, Leicester, 2-2 draw. Preston, Middlesbrough, 2-2 draw. Coventry, Norwich, 1-1 draw. Bristol City over Sheffield Wednesday, 3-0. Stoke City over Birmingham City, 1-0. Swan Hole, 2-2 draw. Blackburn over Watford, 1-0. Derby over West Brom, 1-0. And Queens over Wrexham, 3-1. Dutch Eredivisie. Ajax over PC Zwolle, 3-1. PSV over NEC, 5-3. Go Ahead Eagles over FC Volendam, 3-0. FC 20, NAC Breda, 2-2 draw. Feyenoord over Heerenveen, 1-0. Pro League, Al Khalij over Al Faya, 3-0. Al Tawoun over Al Akdod, 3-2. Al Hilal Al Qadish, 2-2 draw. Premiership, Aberdeen, Livingston, 0-0 draw. Dundee, Motherwell, 2-2 or 1-1 draw. St. Mirren over Falkirk, 2-1. Hearts over Rangers, 2-0. Hibernian, Dundee, 3-3 draw. USL, San Antonio over Loudoun, 5-2. Louisville over Pittsburgh, 2-0. Rhode Island over Indy, 1-0. Charleston, Oakland, 3-3 draw. Tampa, Colorado Springs, 3-3 draw. FC Tulsa over New Mexico United, 1-0. Hartford over Monterey Bay, 4-0. Sacramento, Phoenix, 2-2 draw. Vegas, Miami, 0-0 draw. And League One, Chattanooga, Portland, 1-1 draw. Forward Madison over Richmond, 1-0. South Georgia over Greenville, 2-1. Union Omaha over Westchester, 2-1. Texoma, Spokane, 3-3 draw. And Knoxville over AV Alta, 2-1. All right, and then Sunday, Premier League, Liverpool over Burnley, 1-0. Man City over Man United, 3-0. La Liga, Girona, Celta Vigo, 1-1 draw. Levante, Real Betis, 2-2 draw. Osasuna over Rayo Valencia, 6-0. And Barcelona over Valencia, 6-0. Bundesliga, St. Pauli, RFC Augsburg, 2-1. And Redder over Borussia, 4-0. Women's League, Louisville, Seattle, did not play. It was an abandoned game. Chicago, Portland, 1-1 draw. Utah over Houston, 2-0. Liga MX, Monterrey over Querétaro, 1-0. Tijuana, Athletic San Luis, 1-1 draw. Serie A, Torino over AS Roma, 1-0. Atalanta over Lecce, 4-1. Udinese over Pisa, 1-0. Sassuolo over Lazio, 1-0. AC Milan over Bologna, 1-0. French League 1, Lille over Toulouse, 2-1. Paris FC over Brest, 2-1. Metz Angers, 1-1 draw. PSG over Lens, 2-0. Strasbourg over Le Havre AC, 1-0. Stade Rennais over Lyon, 3-1. ELC, Southampton, Portsmouth, 0-0 draw. Dutch Eredivisie, Sparta over Excelsior, 1-0. FC Groningen over FC Utrecht, 1-0. AC Alkmaar over Heracles, 2-1. Fortuna over Telstar, 3-1. Super League, Chelsea over Aston Villa, 3-1. Leicester over Liverpool, 1-0. Man United over London City, 5-1. Tottenham over Everton, 2-0. Pro League. I apologize about that. El Raida over El Najma, 2-1. Neom SC over Damak, 2-1. Al Nasser over Al Khalod, 2-0. Premiership, Celtic over Kilmarnock, 2-1. All right, going on right now is Espanyol and Mallorca in La Liga. Serie A going on now is Como Genoa. And then a final, Cremonese and Verona, 0-0 draw. And then tomorrow, I'm just going to look. And see what we have. We have MLS, Carabao Cup, UEFA Champions League, Calm the Ball, US Open Cup, and CONCACAF Women's. So a lot of the games are at night, so we'll do it on the podcast tomorrow. Okay, now we'll do the WNBA. We'll go over the playoff results from yesterday, and I believe there's no games today. Yeah, no, Game 2 is Tuesday. All right, so Game 1, Lynx over to Valkyries, 101 to 72, 1-0 series lead. Dream over to Fever, 80 to 68, 1-0 series lead. Liberty over to Mercury, 76-69 overtime, 1-0 series lead. And the Aces over to Storm, 102-77, 1-0 series lead. So that's all she wrote for the WNBA. For now, we have 2 Game 2s tomorrow night. Okay. Now we'll move on to golf. We will go over the results from this past weekend's tournament, which was the Pro Core Championship. Your winner, of course, with a score of 19 under, is Mr. Scotty Scheffler. Second place, 18 under, Ben Griffin. Tied for 17th, or tied for third with 17 under, Lanto Griffin. Tied for fourth, 16 under, Emiliano Grillo and Jackson Coven. Sixth, 15 under, J.J. Swan. Tied for 7th, 14 under, Mackenzie Hughes and Grayson Ego. Tied for 9th with 12 under, Rico Hoey and Cam Young. Tied for 11th with 11 under, Ashke Bahita and Austin Eckroat. Tied for 13th with 10 under, Matt McNeely, Matt Kuchar, Matt Thubjorsen, Rio Hisatune, Isaiah Salinda, Sam Burns. Tied for 19th with 9 under, Jonathan Bird, Max Homa, Davis Thompson, Gary Woodland, Ryan Henley, Brant Snecker, Joseph Brumlett is tied for 26 with 8 under, with Doug Ginn, Ben Coles, Jason Duffner, Justin Hastings. Actually, no, Duffner's 30th with 7 under, with Chad Ramey, Adam Schenk, Luke List, Ricky Castillo, Patrick Cantlay, Stuart Frisk, Taylor Montgomery. Tied for 38th with 6 under, Vincent Willey, Mark Hubbard, C. Thiglia, Paul Fishburne, Kevin Velo. Now I'm going to do notables the rest of the way. Tied for 43rd with 5 under, Eric Cole, Harry English, Colin Morikawa. 47th with 4 under, Bayo Hostler, Seamus Power, Mac Meisner. Tied for 53rd with 3 under, Keith Mitchell, Troy Merritt. 57th with 2 under, Harry Springer, Bian Gonan, Peter Malnati, Kevin Strollman. 69th with 1 over is Justin Thomas, tied for 70th with 2 over. Will Chandler. Among those cut, Carson Young, Sammy Valmaki, Adam Hadwin, Adam Putnam, Harry Higgs, Chandler Phillips, Pat Gazier, Ben Martin, Gary McNeil, Cam Champ, Ryan Palmer, Henrik Norlander, Matt Neesmith, Cesar V, Joel Dahman, Kevin Roy, Nicholas Echevarria, Harrison Endicott, Davis Lipsky, Nate Watney, Camilo Vegas, Alex Smalley, Webb Simpson, Bryce Garnett, Austin Cook, Patrick Knowles, Sam Ryder, and that's it among the notables. We'll move on to NASCAR now. We'll go over the results from the weekend. We talked about the truck results a little bit, but I want to get into it in full from Thursday. So we'll do that. Lane Riggs won. Second, Ben Rhodes. Third, Corey Heim. Fourth, Ty Majeski. Fifth, Tanner Heinrich. Sixth, Tanner Gray. Seventh, Connor Mozak. Eighth, Andres Pelez de Lara. Ninth, Corey LaJoie. 10th, Matt Crafton. The rest, Corey Day, Caden Honeycutt, Gio Ruggiero, Parker Kligerman, Raja Caruth, Matt Mills, Dawson Sutton, Connor Jones, Bailey Curry, Tyler Ankrum, Grant Effinger, Jack Wood, Cole Butcher, Brent Cruz, Stephon Parsons, Tony Breedinger, Spencer Boyd, Josh Rumey, Greg Van Alst, Chandler Smith, Mason Maggio, Trayton Lapwich, Jake Garcia, Norm Benning, Caleb Costner, and Clayton Green. Xfinity from Bristol on Friday night. Eric Almirola was your winner. Second, Sheldon Creed. Third, Sam Meyer. Fourth, Carson Kvapel. Fifth, Connor Zilch. Sixth, Justin Algier. Seventh, Harrison Burton. Christian X. Eighth. Ninth, Jeremy Clements. 10th, Brendan Poole. The rest, Brendan Jones, Dean Thompson, Nick Sanchez, Tanner Gray, William Sawlik, Parker Retzlaff, Connor Day, Jeb Burton, Austin Hill, Brendan Queen, Kyle Sieg, Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Sieg, Matt DiBenedetto, Jesse Love, Daniel Dye, Jeremy Earnhardt, Josh Williams, Josh Belicki, Logan Bairden, Austin Green, Leyland Honeyman, Carson Ware, Blaine Perkins, Joey Gay, Stephon Parsons, Sammy Smith, Ryan Ellis. And then the Cup Series Saturday night from Bristol. Your winner, Chris Bell. Second, Brad Keselowski. Third, Zane Smith. Fourth, Ryan Blaney. Fifth, Joey Logano. Sixth, Corey Heim. Sixth, Carson Hosfar. Eighth, Alex Bowman. Ninth, Chase Briscoe. 10th, Ty Gibbs. The rest, Chris Buescher, William Byron, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Riddick, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Riley Herbst, Ross Chastain, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, Austin Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen, Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, Cody Ware, Austin Cindric, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Cole Custer, Bubba Wallace, Chad Fincham, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Suarez, Chase Elliott, Josh Berry. All right. Next Cup race is Sunday from New Hampshire. Xfinity is not until next Saturday, the 27th, from Kansas. And then the Truck Series is the 20th from New Hampshire. So a matinee truck race and then a Cup race coming up this weekend. Okay, news and notes. It's a lot of news and notes today. That's why I wanted to get through NASCAR and golf as quickly as possible because there's a lot to get to. The big story in the NFL, Joe Burrow left the game yesterday against the Jaguars with turf toe, and he's going to be out for 3 months. We will not see him again till December. He was seen in crutches post-game, and he may get some surgery. Jaden Daniels has a knee sprain as his status against the Commanders is in doubt. That's not great. J.J. McCarthy has an ankle sprain. He will be out likely for week 3 against the Bengals, so Carson Wentz could start. So it's going to be Carson Wentz against Jake Browning. Oof. That makes sense to why McCarthy didn't play well the first 2 weeks for the most part. Jalen Johnson out indefinitely with a groin injury. Cowboys center Cooper Beebe expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Should return this season. Holy shit, there's a lot of injuries. Kyle Van Noy bracing to miss multiple games. Rob Hunt and Austin Corbett on IR from the Panthers, torn biceps and torn MCL respectively. Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. Status week 3 TBD. Holy shit, all these quarterback injuries. So you have Fields, Burrow, McCarthy, and Jaden Daniels all hurt in 1 week. And then you have the Cowboys center, the 2 guys on the Panthers. Aaron Jones is not going to play against the Bengals coming up either. And the Falcons didn't have AJ Terrell and Ryan Kelly. Actually, no. Each team was missing one guy. So Ryan Kelly got concussed, and then AJ Terrell had a hamstring injury, so they both exited the game. Xavier Worthy coming back for Kansas City against the Giants. Brock Purdy could return on Sunday, but they are not optimistic. The Jazz and Kevin Love have yet to talk a buyout as they haven't had serious discussions after the Heat trade. The Warriors offered Kuminga a 3-year deal worth $75.2 million. The Warriors are still eyeing Al Horford. I can't believe he hasn't signed yet. There's a lot of crazy shit that went down in week 2, as we know. So the Titans revised the Jeffrey Simmons deal as he got a raise for 17th game to amend for missing check in 2023. The Bengals have been calling around the free agents after Burrow's injury. Dak Prescott not fined for spitting as he won't be penalized for interaction with Jalen Carter in week 1. Former Ranger Eddie Yakiman passed away at the age of 86. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family, friends, and former teammates. Great player back in the day for the Rangers. The Red Wings have their 100th season coming up, and they have centennial uniforms. Cal Raleigh makes history as he ties Mickey Mantle for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter. He won't be the MVP. I certainly don't think so. I think that what was I saying? Yeah. That's, yeah, I don't think so. So the Ravens want to draft Shader Sanders, but Sanders let it be known that he didn't want to back up Lamar. 2 college coaches have been fired. UCLA's Deshaun Foster and Virginia Tech's Brent Pry have been fired. Jadeveon Clowney signed with the Cowboys after they gave up 37 points against the Giants in spite of the win. Crawford beat Canelo in a unanimous decision the other night. So it looks like that that fight was something. It was wild. Arch Manning got booed the other day in that game. And that wasn't pretty. And then the AP poll came out in college football. I'm just going to look at that really quickly. So 1 through 5, Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia. 6 through 10, Oregon, Florida State, Texas, Illinois, Texas A&M. 11 through 15, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee. So Bama's back in the top 15 after the Florida State loss. 16 through 20, Utah, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Vandy, Michigan. Michigan's 21, the rest, Auburn, Missouri, Notre Dame, USC. Notre Dame shouldn't be ranked. They're 0-2. Get out of my rankings. Get out of my face, Notre Dame. That's just favoritism. And USC shouldn't be ranked either. That's favoritism because of the name of their school. And Clemson's out of the rankings, thank goodness. I mean, I'd rather see them in it than Notre Dame, but if Clemson's out of the rankings, so should Notre Dame. That's my point. And others receiving votes: BYU, South Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State, TCU, Arizona State, Tulane, Louisville, Nebraska, Baylor, Clemson, SMU, SC State, UNLV, Navy. All right, so that's the AP poll. And that's it for news and notes. And last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. This is an interesting one. I have no idea. What I'm going to do. Like I said, there's a lot of underdogs I like in baseball tonight. And I do like some overs too. But I decided that I'm going to go and take the under 46.5 in the Raider-Charger game. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking at everything. Tomorrow I'll do the weekly bets again. I didn't do one today because there's 2 games tonight, and I want to see more from these 4 teams. So I'm hesitant to do it on a Monday, and plus there's a lot of injuries coming out. So yeah, we're going to do a Tuesday bet tomorrow, Wednesday bet Wednesday, and a Thursday bet Thursday. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.